Inside the Birds is back. What's going on, everybody? It is Geoff, Mosher, and Adam Caplan, Inside the Birds podcast, the morning after another Eagles loss. It is their third straight loss, which is kind of, I want to say relatively new territory, but they did lose three straight last year. I believe it was New England, Seattle, and then Miami before their season turned around. I'm not sure a lot of people will believe they can turn their season around after this. It's a 23-17 loss to Seattle. What's that expression, Adam, that the final score may be close,er than the game actually appears?
Yes, yeah. It's so funny because I put out, the last three Eagles Seahawks games in Philly, obviously, were this year, last year in the regular season in the playoff game. And there was a point in the fourth quarter we might have had three straight at 17-9. It's just somehow. But then, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's just, people are pissed off on Twitter. I get it. They're not happy. They don't understand it. We'll do our best. We'll do our best. But you all saw it. Couldn't protect Geoff. That was an absolute nightmare. Wentz made some throws he missed. The typical stuff that Wentz has struggled with, he continues to miss on.
Yeah.
I thought Brian Greasy, who's one of the color analysts for ESPN, did a great job. Louis Riddick had some good stuff, but Greasy as a quarterback, he thinks like a quarterback, and I love his critical comments were right on, but the quarterback not seeing it. Every person I've talked to, Geoff, around the league says the same stuff. Wentz is not seeing it. Our good buddy Ron Jaworski, Greg Cosell, when he's talked about it. You've seen it when you watch the tape, and your people you've mentioned.
Yeah,
not seeing it all the time.
Yeah, he
stares down one. He sees one. He sees his progression, and he doesn't throw it all the time. I maybe he still wants to make the big play. I can't get in his head, but it's really disappointing because there were some plays there to be made.
There were plays to be made. There were a lot of other issues as well. We talked about play calling, which I don't think was as souped up as you would expect. In fact, there was one really bad third down botch play call that they went over the screen. We'll talk about it, where there was nobody to actually catch the screen. That's not on Carson. That's just somebody didn't get the right message, and a really critical third down in the game in the red zone got blown up. And then I think, you just wonder about those spoiled opportunities. Defense, Adam, you give up 17 points, which is always the goal, right? They give up 23 points, but
yeah,
for the most part, they were playing well, but very one-dimensional at the same time. Very good against the run at times, but then they gave up the long touchdown. And then, of course, you brought Darius Slay in here for these kind of matchups.
Yeah.
And Metcalf to me has reached the point where he's going to be a superstar in this game.
He's a monster, dude.
You expect him to get catches, but geez.
He's kind of like – I'll tell you who he's like. Before Gronk's legs went with all the injuries, there was a point where you just simply couldn't cover the guy. Too damn big. Metcalf is too big. He's Mr. Olympia on the outside.
Yeah.
I feel bad because Slay's there and he can't because Metcalf's too strong. He gets leverage.
Right.
It's one thing to be 6 feet, but like Slay, but you can't. You're out muscled by 30 pounds, and this guy's he's got the best physique we've ever seen at receiver that I can remember until David Boston got real big. But with the muscles. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. But like you said, look, the defense hung in there. We'd said on our pregame show that I really thought you'd have to score 30 points, and the weather cleared up like we expected. The weather is in the low 60s, a little humid. Right. Let's go. And they tried, but they couldn't protect him. Their protection was awful.
It was.
Oh my God, Wentz is almost to David Carr time, man. He might be in the 60 to 70 sack range this year, man. This keeps going. Jeez.
Yeah, and you kind of look and you say, well, Miles Sanders was look, I know this was a very bad defense and a very bad pass defense, but you heard Doug
good run defense, though. Yeah.
Simplifying the game plan, and you thought that meant, a little bit more running, set up those third and shorts if you can, but Miles Sanders getting six carries for 15 yards. Look, in a game where you're only trailing by a possession – you and I normally don't question run-pass ratio because we know what it takes to win in this league, but how do you not give Miles Sanders the ball a little bit more?
Well, when they tried, they just could not create any space inside. I would have thrown the ball 40 times in this game, but the problem is you can't protect.
Yeah.
So you can't really do anything.
You got to rely on Miles. He can break one.
No. Right. But what I would have done is, I understand Boston Scott's a different running back for them, but Miles is way faster, and they're not getting him involved in the pass game this season. I don't know what it is, and they've Scott a lot in the second half. In fact, he started the second half, if I'm not mistaken, Boston Scott.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. I didn't know if that was disciplinary because Miles had had trouble handling some of Carson's throws. I have no idea. We're gonna.
Wentz. The thing that I learned when I first covered the league, talking to coaches, is make the pass target go forward. Don't have him stop his feet. Right. I understand that some of them were the low balls were catchable. That's fair, but could you put it up here and put it in front of him so he could keep him going forward?
That would be nice.
I mean, geez, I don't know. When you're off like this, like Wentz has been this season, nothing is ever easy.
Yeah,
even when the guy's wide open.
Yeah, it was bad all around. The Eagles lose their third straight game. They are now 3-7-1. So they kind of entered the week in first place alone, and then the Giants won, and then Washington won also on Thanksgiving, and now I believe they're in third and getting closer to last. I mean, you look at their schedule, it's Green Bay. We've talked about it. Green Bay, New Orleans, Arizona. Again, teams that even on your best defensive game, and they played a pretty good one here against Seattle, but Seattle still scored 23 points. You got to think that these teams coming up are going to be able to score at least 23 to 25, and that means you got to score 26 to 30. So I feel like it's going to be a broken record type of month. I hope not in December, but I don't know what more is going to happen.
I mean, it's like, I always look forward to, when it comes to the Eagles, watching their opponent when they're good teams. Like Green Bay's coming up. Aaron Rodgers, I can't wait. I love football. We all do. Everyone watching. I know that majority of people watching are Eagle fans, and we certainly understand that. But at least they got. I can't wait to see Kyler Murray. That look forward to seeing that. And obviously, and then if Taysom Hill's got to start, that'll be fun. Rather than Drew Brees. I've seen Drew Brees enough. I'd like to see Taysom Hill. We'll see. But man, it's much of the same with this team. They're offensively challenged.
Right.
They did some pre-snap motion in the Monday night game, no question. They did some slot screens like crazy. Majority of them didn't work. It was like they telegraphed it. You know what they didn't do, and it's comical because I mentioned this on our show before. Probably last week, I reminded people of the smoke screen. The one to Lockett that Seattle ran. Exactly right. Here's what happened. The Eagles DB was 7 to 8 yards off the line. That tells the wide receiver and the quarterback, you're throwing it to me, because he knows he's off, and they got a first down off of it. It's just that's called smoke. Let me ask you a question also with Reagor. Why is he not on punt returns? Am I missing something?
Not on punt returns. He was not on the first third down on the opening possession. It was Jeffrey, it was Fulgham, and I think it was Hightower. So, kind of curious with their personnel rotations. But, yeah, I thought he would be on punt return to give a little – when he came back –
the best of the nation. He was one of the best last year, I think.
And when he came back to practice, you remember, they threw him in immediately in practice at punt return. He was returning punts. People were talking about it. So, just file that under one of those head-scratching decisions.
I'm puzzled by that one.
Yeah. So your aerial view here, 3-7-1. We've talked about how the owner feels about this team, about this offense.
We heard it last year. I mean, you saw every report out there. You and I have heard stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't take anyone to figure this out. I mean, anyone watching cannot be happy with the offense. We're not breaking news here. This offense is hard to watch, okay?
It is.
I can't imagine any season ticket holder that watches and they can't go right now, but anyone who loves his football team, as majority of the people watching do, and it just got to kill them. It's painful. And as you said, Geoff, the defense kept them in. Jim Schwartz's defense seemed to rally, man, just when you don't think they can. Now, I know people are going to say, okay, what about Darius Slay? I get it. He couldn't stop, for the most part, he couldn't stop a 14 Metcalf. Metcalf dropped that last pass. He should have had it.
Yeah, he really should have. He should have.
The aerial view is that they compete hard. Their offensive line is dreadful because of injury. I'll admit it, I overrated this roster. I really did. I thought it was, if everybody's healthy, a 9 or 10 win team. Okay, they're beat up like crazy in the offensive line. What was this, the 10th iteration of this offensive line on Monday night?
To be fair, okay. I don't think that anybody not just you, right? I mean, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey, anybody, any national pundit. I didn't see anybody predict the Eagles to be 3-7-1 and having
just
this
a bad
kind of
team.
year.
I didn't see it exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't see him as a bad team. I just, but again, we said this really now for 2 seasons. The lack of consistent creativity on offense, I just don't see it.
Yeah,
wide splits. It's something that drives me up a bleeping wall.
Mm-hmm.
I want it tighter. I want bunches, stacks. Make it
rub routes.
Rub routes. Well, they do some. The Eagles like to, but
I didn't think there were that many this time.
But one thing I do want, confuse the defense when you stack, okay? Because they have to make a decision on by the rule. Okay, who they're taking, and then as you said, run the guy across the face of the defender, and then they have no idea what to do.
Right.
The thing that I love about Sean McVay, and he does this with Jared Goff. He's so good at it. He takes the thinking out of it. Rolls them right, rolls them left.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about anything. Throw it here. He makes it's almost elementary. Here, they make it. I'm not absolving Wentz from anything. He's had a bad year. Okay, we all know that. And his accuracy's been off. There are a lot of things wrong with him. But what are you doing to severely help this guy? And the other thing is, very few rollouts. With this offensive line, roll them the hell out. They did a couple.
They did one, yeah. It was a nice completion of Richard Rodgers, and you thought, geez, where have those gone?
Yeah, and guess what? That gives you a clear picture as a quarterback. Take the thinking away. Throw it here. Come on. Ain't hard.
Yeah, it was just more of the same. And so, unfortunately, I feel like it's going to be more of the same for the next few weeks, and we'll just have to, see how this team responds. They did fight hard. I do want to get you worry about kind of losing guys when you get to 3-7-1, and
sure.
Maybe not everybody out there is given 100%, but I don't think you've seen guys just completely quit either. So I think
they play hard.
I just was the Carson run, you'd like to see some people make better tackles, but I don't know if that was just lack of effort or just bad technique. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again.
Yeah, sure. I don't think they're giving good effort. It's just they're just not good enough. But people want answers. I can't completely put my thumb on. In terms of the offense, okay, we've discussed Wentz's issues: mechanics, accuracy, decision-making, confidence. There's a litany of issues. But other than that, the play calling is not helped. Okay, the offensive line is what else are we missing? The offensive line is because of injury.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have much of a running game.
Haven't had it,
which is a little surprising. Seattle's got a better defense since they added what's his face from Cincinnati.
Carlos Dunlap. That Benson Mayo in 91 gave him a problem.
Yeah,
my boy Puna Ford. I love Puna Ford. He's awesome.
Yeah, the little guy. Well, and I do think the teams, when you don't respect an offensive perimeter game, you can crowd the box and be fast and aggressive. And you saw how much they brought Jamal Adams into the box as a blitzer and an extra tackler. So you can.
That's what he does.
They've got good athletes on that in that defense.
They Geoff, I think another issue in this game was their pass protection in terms of chips. They missed blocks, and I'm sure because of they keep changing. The running backs also miss blocks. This was a tough game for them. It's the fans deserve better. I mean, it really. I feel your pain. Just as Geoff and I have to watch this crap every week. When I say crap, just how the hell are they 3-7-1? The roster is better than this. That's my problem with it. I've said it since you and I started the show 2 years ago, 3 or whatever the hell it was. I hate seeing bad football. I'm good if you're playing tight games. You at least the Chargers are fun to watch with Justin Herbert. Yeah, they stink. They're 3-8, but they play tight games. Man, this team. Man, I did not exploit it. I get this team. I got the pick right, but I completely missed on this one.
Yeah, you and many, many others, Adam. Let's get into kind of breaking down some of the individual positions and everything. But first, we'll direct everybody, as we always do, to our friends at PHLSportsNation.com, covering all the Philly teams like nobody else, enhancing that fan experience with their great content and their great coverage. They're for the fan, by the fan. That's their motto. Check them out on Twitter at PHLSportsNation. And right now, we'll pause real quick for a word from our great sponsors, including our friends at Sky Motor Cars. All right, Adam, let's take a look at how the offense fared against the defense. We'll start with some position groups. You mentioned Carson, and this is, I think, the first time that people don't need the all 22. They did a nice job on the broadcast of highlighting a few times where there's a throw there to be made, and Carson, just for whatever reason, was gun shy, didn't throw the ball. But statistically speaking, Adam, the numbers aren't awful. He didn't fumble or throw an interception until he threw the fourth quarter pick.
That was a weird one too. I don't know what the hell happened there. He expected Goddard to be in one area and Goddard was in another area.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That was strange. He completed more than 50% of his passes. He threw for 215 yards. Obviously, some of that buoyed by the 33-yarder at the end. It was kind of a meh game, but because the Eagles were in the game, I mean, it was a one-possession game in the fourth quarter, right? It was 17-9, and that's when Carson threw the interception. Instead of Doug taking the points there and making it 17-12, I know I'm being kind of assuming Jake's going to make the field goal,
Take
but
the field goal.
Yeah, I was just really surprised by that. I don't understand why.
I don't either.
What the situation is there, but either way,
yeah.
What did I say? It was 20-9, right? Yeah, it's an 11-point game.
Yeah, again, it was 20-9.
20-9. I know it was 17-9 to start the fourth quarter, and you're like, "Holy cow! Can this game end?"
Yeah, exactly. How
again?
the hell? It was exactly. It started the fourth quarter 29. I just don't understand.
20-9. He gives Doug a chance. He gives Carson a chance. Carson looks good on the drive. He had a few nice runs. He converted a couple of third downs. You're starting to see why Doug is leaving him in the game and not going to Jalen Hurts, right? And then at that third down, if on fourth down, you kick the field goal, you make it 20-12. Your defense is playing well enough, right? Live to see another day. I know as much as people bash Carson, I just don't get that.
I can't even. I'm see, my expectations need to be lowered. I just think when the Seahawks give up so much production. Now, I will tell you, and you're right, since they acquired Dunlop, the last two games, the Cardinals game, he showed up big time. He had a great game there. He made some plays in this game. Benson Mayowa, my guy, Poona Ford. I'm just a big fan. I had heard about him when I got to Seahawks camp, and they said, you got to see this, our guy, Poona Ford. No one knows anything about him. I'm like, okay. I go, okay, I'll see him, 97. And I see him, I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's not on the Seahawks. He's built like it's just like this little guy. He's built like a fire hydrant. And did you see the big play he blew up? He might be like 5'11".
Yeah.
But his arms are just super long.
Plays with great pad leverage, and he's got the nice long arms.
Great job by Seahawks finding that guy.
Yeah. And so I keep going back and thinking, the Seahawks hadn't scored a touchdown since the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken, right? They had the second quarter.
The Eagles defense after – right, so the second quarter was awful.
Second quarter.
Second quarter was terrible. They gave it 14 points, play after play after play to 14 Metcalf. And, all right, well, this is not good. They're down 14-0, but they were able to go down. I think Pederson told Lisa, what's her name? The sideline reporter. Salters, thank you. She's from Philly, by the way.
Penn State.
She said, hey, Doug said they went to the 2 minute with 5 minutes left.
Right.
And that, you hear coaches around the National Football League talk about that sometimes, just get a spark. At work, they move the ball. But the other thing is, it's puzzling why Sanders is not involved more. I'm not in the pass game. I am stunned by that. There's so many unanswered questions we have, and I know on Twitter people are asking me a ton of them. The Fulgham regression here, I don't know if it came with Jeffrey. I was told absolutely not after first or second game, no. But I'm starting now to wonder if it's true. I don't know. I can't. What the hell's happening with this offense other than the offensive line can't block anybody right now?
Well, I don't know other than to say that we've outlined what's wrong. I don't know how they fix it. I think that's the question.
Yeah.
You can see it every day. There's protection breakdowns. We know that. That one is harder to fix because you can't just put great offensive linemen in place of who's starting. They're not healthy, or they're just not playing well, or they're aging like Jason Peters. But there were plenty of times where, Carson had a couple seconds and they showed it on TV where there are guys there. There's actually one play. I don't know if you saw it, Adam, where Reagor, it was a 3-by-1. Reagor was in the slot and no Seattle Seahawk covered him. And he started jumping up and down, waving, saying, I'm open right before the snap. trying to get Carson's attention. Carson snaps the ball and throws it to
yeah, in
somebody
fact,
else.
It's all over Twitter.
Yeah.
You forgot
that's
it
just
was not completed. Yeah.
How do you fix that, man? Like,
I don't know.
how do you fix that?
I asked Jaws this. I said, what happens? Because there's not a quarterback in NFL history, even the great Peyton Manning, that hasn't been through this. And he said, like, he's always maintained, though, quarterbacks hate to get hit, and the accumulation of pressure, sometimes you just get gun shy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We didn't play quarterback, so it's we've asked. Well, I have to have Dan Orlovsky again on,
right.
Who's great. It's puzzling. This regression. There, as you know, Geoff, there are a lot of people who did not like Wentz when he was drafted. There are the so-called film analysts, the internet guys who did tape study, guys who's never worked for an NFL team, never played football, that were killing Wentz. Inaccurate, should have dominated, 1AA, whatever the case was. Okay. So it obviously, you never heard from them the first year because Wentz was spectacular, particularly second year. But the guys who are saying that he wasn't accurate, hey, you're getting your day here because his accuracy has regressed significantly. And in 18, we know because we talked about this. That was the first year of our show. 2018, Geoff, very few challenging throws. Yes, his accuracy grew big time. Just took what the defense gave him. Remember, this is when Mike Wallace got hurt in the second game against Tampa. Never played for them again.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey came back to the game, so he missed time. Come back from his shoulder surgery. So he just took whatever was in front of him and just checked it down. Which, quite frankly, when I say check it down, just take the outlet. You know what? You got to do that. It was just like you were pointing out that play with Reagor. Take what's there, man.
Yeah.
Just take. You know what? I'll take 5 yards. Coaches call that like an explosive play. Anything over 4 yards, take it.
Yeah. I don't know. And again, it goes back to I'm sure they're trying to fix it, and at this point, I don't know if they know how to fix it. So we'll see what happens.
Keep working with him. Keep working with him.
His throws seem low this game, though. Usually he's been missing high, and then all of a sudden he was missing low.
Question. Let's turn this around because people keep asking. We've talked about it the last couple of weeks. I'd said maybe you should take him out for a series. They didn't do that. Now, we don't know what would have happened at halftime. The Eagles were down 14. If they didn't score that last touchdown, who knows what would have happened? Maybe they would have given Hurts maybe a series or two. Who the hell? No one knows. But my point is this: could you give him just a series? It has less to do with Wentz now, where it just gives some juice to the offense. I don't understand.
Anything. Yeah. No.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly. I don't understand. Like, is it really gonna? You can't score. Mm-hmm. Could you try something else?
Right. Anything. Yeah, try. Leave him in for a couple – I agree with you. Leave him in for a couple of plays.
Let him get comfortable. And don't worry about the fans because I know in this town it's like this in every city. If everybody loves a backup quarterback. I understand that. But so what? If he comes in and plays great for a series, great.
Right.
Build on that and then put Wentz back in. That's all. It's a change. It's like a change of a quarterback. I don't know. I'm out of answers, folks. I don't – what else y'all saw the game?
I'm with you. I feel like another thing we say every week when we're looking at the small positives are that the tight ends played well. They both had touchdowns.
Listen.
Yep.
It's funny. Some knucklehead, I had to mute him on Twitter. Is like, I made a strong comment on Goddard on Twitter about how he commenced the football, get him the ball way more than they're doing it, and go. You just have him in your fantasy team. No, I have 7 teams. I have him in one. I never.
You have the whole league in your fantasy. You have like 10 fantasy teams.
Right. No, I have 7. But when I analyze, it's always about from an NFL standpoint. I don't care about fantasy when I analyze. I look at what teams tell me when they go up against the Eagles offense.
Right.
Dallas. When ironically, talking to guys on Dallas's defensive staff over the years, they were so scared of Goddard because he's too big. Mm-hmm. It's just too. I mean, he's huge. He's like Hulk. 7
for 75, 10 targets.
I know.
Yeah, that's normal. That's what you expect out of
exactly. That's what he should be doing. I don't get when 86 gets back. Fine, he can get the ball, but Goddard is a mismatch. You cannot cover him with a linebacker.
Yeah. Also, I mean, am I crazy? If you can bring back Richard Rodgers on like a 2 or 3 year deal, not a lot of money, maybe just
a 1 year, but he's been his problem, Geoff, has always been injury. Right. Always been injury.
Right.
Yeah.
But when
he's a pretty darn. If he could stay on the field, yeah, you're right. He's productive. He's been a good find for them. That's why they keep bringing them back. But the Fulgham regression, folks,
I'm worried.
I don't have
an
answer.
Man.
This is the most puzzling thing.
Yeah. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about him and Reagor, Adam. I mean, these are young kids who are trying to make a good impression.
Yeah.
And at one point, it looked like Fulgham was going to be the man for this team.
Yeah.
And Alshon Jeffrey came back. Now he's getting some targets. He's getting some play, and he's really, he's catching a pass here and there. But then the tight ends come back, and they're the focal point of the offense. And you worry about their psyche because they're young. Sure. And who's the veteran that takes them under the wing and says, kids, relax, relax. Your time will come. We'll figure this out. You are going to be important. You just got to keep your head in the game. Is it Alshon Jeffrey? Is it Deshaun Jackson? No, I mean, it can't be. You got Deshaun's, not even on the field. So the lack of a guy who I know that I think it's Jalen who has said that Alshon's been like a big brother. Okay. But Alshon just got back on the field a couple of weeks ago. So I just worry about how you keep these two young kids invested and up for every game and not losing them to the funk.
Well, I do think this, though. It's a very good point you made. But I would tell you, if we have a normal offseason or semi-normal, okay, where these guys could actually get on the field in April, May OTAs, go in the weight room, do all their supposed to do in the offseason. May OTAs, June OTAs, mandatory camp, training camp, preseason. They'll grow together. That's the way you do it. I'm not making excuses for you. We're trying to figure it out as well.
Right.
But they clearly need it. I mean, now Fulgham got off to this unbelievable start like we've never seen here. He's faded. I don't understand. I mean, I don't know. People want to say Jeffrey had something to do with it. I can't argue against it anymore.
Right. Because now, I get what you're saying. I appreciate that sentiment that when they have an actual offseason, they'll have a chance to really. But they're frustrated right now. You can see it in their body language.
Really,
and there's still 5 games left.
Okay.
And, well, I mean, when I see Jalen Reagor, jumping up and down like I'm open, the ball doesn't go. I got to assume that.
That was the knock on him, by the way, at TCU on Coacher Tape. Teams told me the one thing is sometimes. He was the body language because he played with a quarterback, obviously wasn't very good at TCU.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
And he's a pretty good kid. I mean, you and I have got pretty good intel here. But just keep the body language right. Support the quarterback. I'm sure he's supporting Carson, but body language has got to be good. People have knocked Carson for his body language. Have you noticed that?
Well, I mean,
I
think he's a human being. I mean, he's clearly struggling. He's clearly got stuff going on upstairs. I mean, I haven't noticed him he's not having the type of body language where he looks uninvested or he's yelling at teammates. He just looks
he doesn't do that.
No, he just looks like he has no idea why he's playing this way.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's different. That's just confused more than uninvested. So I think Aaron Moorhead's got a real responsibility here to kind of be on these guys and coach them and say any one of these games, it could be your minute again. Hang in there, kids. And just keep them in because you don't want to lose these kids.
Because look, exactly. Because if Carson wakes up from slumber, if he gets to half of what he was, even in 18, crisper passes more accurate, and everything else it takes to play at a high level, everyone's going to get the ball, and that's just the way he's always been when he's going right. But I don't know. Well, Bill Polian said on our show a couple weeks ago that he thought, boy, he really misses Hurts. And I'm sure that's true. They're very close.
Yep.
They've had an incredible career together. I get it. It's yet another pass target. So here's the thing. They don't lack pass targets right now, even without Hurts.
Right.
But I'm just, other than Wentz's struggles, we've heard this from a lot of people. I mean, Trey Thomas said it too. I get, when Trey watches tape, he said it.
Right.
The inability for the coaches to consistently get these guys open.
Yeah. Well, that's tough. All right, let's move on to the defense. Before we do that, I want to let everyone know the gyms may not be full, but there's definitely no shortage of madness this college basketball season. And for us fans, the college basketball powers that be have gifted us with a top-tier matchup between two powerhouses. This weekend, Gonzaga and Baylor will be going toe-to-toe for what could be the nation's top ranking. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is bringing you closer to the action with these can't-miss offers. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving all college basketball fans who sign up now the chance to win $100 when betting on either Gonzaga or Baylor to win this Clash of Titans. Plus, you'll get a deposit bonus up to $1,000 when signing up using promo code ITB. DraftKings Sportsbook has endless ways for you to bet, from live betting to betting on your favorite players. They do it all. DraftKings is safe, reliable, and secure, making it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code ITB when you sign up for your shot to turn $1 into $100 when betting on either Gonzaga or Baylor to win. That's right. Bet $1 to win $100. Use promo code ITB during sign-up to take advantage of these great offers for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only, in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Adam, as we mentioned, a decent performance by the defense. Certainly not on DK Metcalf, but, Russell Wilson didn't have an MVP-type game. He is now 5-0 against them, though.
One thing, though, I do wonder, and I'm going to check on this. I'm going to try to get this for our Wednesday morning show. How much, if at all, did they double Metcalf?
Didn't look like they doubled him very much at all. It looked like it was Slay trailing.
Which, and it certainly looked like on the television copy. But if that's the case, that was a mistake. I just, how in the world, because he's too damn big. In fact, I think Jamal Jackson said on a pregame show that bracket him.
Well, Jamal felt that they should put Slay. This was a really good observation by Jamal Jackson, that they should put Slay on Lockett and then use Maddox and a safety to bracket Metcalf. So you get the double on Metcalf, but you don't have to use Slay since you're doubling. You use Slay on Lockett. Lockett actually didn't kill them too much. What do you have? 3 catches, 23 yards. But
they did a great job.
Metcalf really did. Yeah. So maybe they should have done that. Maybe they should have put Maddox and then slide the safety over to double and bracket Metcalf instead of letting Slay go one-on-one. But to be honest with you, this is why you brought Darius Slay here. This is the kind of guy you want him to shut down. I know after the game he said it was the worst game of his career.
Yeah, he's a unbelievably stand-up guy. Talking to Lions about him. It just, the relationship with the former now head coach of the Lions, Patricia, was awful. Not a secret. He's talked about it, and he just had to go. And he's been a solid player. Look, this is obviously he didn't play well. He got beat repeatedly by Metcalf. But here's what I don't understand. And again, I want to make sure we get the right information. But if they only singled him most of the time or the whole game, when Metcalf is beating him repeatedly, why not help him? I don't know. I don't know, man.
No, I mean, again, you bring a guy in here so that you can use your other resources elsewhere, right? You have guys in the box.
I get it, but when you can't cover him, but when he's struggling mightily, as you said, Slay said after the game, help the guy, help him out, slow him down. Metcalf is I've watched him a lot. You and I've seen him a lot this year. I've probably seen almost every snap from him. He's too damn big. Too damn big. Now, there are a couple teams that had their way with him, but overall, most teams fail because he's just too strong.
Yeah, it makes me wonder because Slay's only other game this year where I thought he kind of really struggled was against the Steelers when Claypool got him a couple of times. And Claypool is another tall, physical receiver. And you wonder if that's kind of – because Darius is not a big guy. I mean, he's fast, he can cover, but he's not one of the more big physical guys. Although, I mean, I think he tries to play physically. I'm not saying he's soft at all. I'm just saying he's not a very big guy.
Right.
With Devontae Adams – go ahead.
Right. No, I was just going to say he's longer than average for a corner, but he's not, like, thick. Like, I get it.
Right. So with Devontae Adams coming up next, you wonder if that's another tall physical
last
guy.
Year. Yeah. That was the game when Sidney Jones – first carry, he grabbed his hamstring.
Yeah.
After getting beat. Adams destroyed him, and that was the game where Adams suffered a turf toe injury. He might have had 300 yards in that game. He abused them.
He was really having his way. I think Rasul Douglas had a play in that game. Sidney Jones was playing because I think Darby was out, if I'm not mistaken.
I just remember I could still see Sidney Jones grabbing his hamstring. And then he showed up to practice that Wednesday.
And of course, Craig James was it that made that?
He did, right?
And he wasn't even supposed to be in the game.
It's funny. The first quarter, I was thinking of you because remember how you said this is just the type of game that the Eagles would win, and when their defense was so damn good early, they shut down their run game. They got the Russell Wilson. I'll tell you what, they did a good job against him for the most part. Yeah. Look, it's not like he didn't throw 4 touchdowns. He threw 1. Okay, they did a good job against him. But listen. The problem is though, you have to play a perfect game against Russell Wilson. They didn't come close to perfect, but they played a solid game against him.
Yeah, they did. And, people keep questioning Fletcher Cox, where is he? Where is he? I feel like after every time the Eagles lose, they just pick the highest paid player and say, this guy stinks sometimes. True is he's not had the greatest year, but he does have a sack now in 4 straight games. That's the first time in his career he's had a sack in 4 straight games. Last week, he had the sack forced fumble, right? It was an unbelievable strip where he poked the ball out of Mayfield's grip while he was getting while he was blocking Wyatt Teller back. So, I mean, I don't think he's got, 5.5 sacks, 6.5 sacks for a D tackle that that's usually, he's in that 6 to 9 territory. So I thought he played a decent game. Josh Barnett, not Josh Barnett. Derek Barnett obviously played a very good game. He was very active. Aren't you surprised that Seattle did not try any read option keepers with Russell Wilson?
He had a 15-yarder, 11-yarder. I can't remember which one it was, but where he had so much space. I don't remember if that was just a keeper.
For 10, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what the thinking was. It was a 10-yarder for first down.
Yeah, I don't think it was a design, though. It didn't look like a read option.
Exactly. They didn't. Right. No, this is interesting because, I thought for sure they would have done it. Boy, I'll tell you what, the Eagles D-line in the first quarter just manhandled Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember checking in with a scouting source who was telling me Posick is not very good. Mm-hmm. Dwayne Brown's not the same left tackle. Obuehi is well below average, who was filling in for Brandon Shell at right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Their guards are less than average. So the Eagles D-line should eat.
Yeah.
Now, they did when they didn't get to Russell Wilson, it was about Metcalf. It was just that simple.
Yeah.
Man. And it's amazing. Every time they gave Russell Wilson a clean pocket, he just carved him up. Look, you can't if you don't play a perfect game against Russell Wilson, you're probably going to lose.
Yeah, that's probably
damn good game against him.
Yeah, and it's funny. The Eagles have played 3 pretty good games against Russell and are 0-3. I mean, they only won 17-9 both times last year. That's you hold the Seahawks to 17, you think you're doing pretty good, and then obviously they score more points this game. But again, it's not like Russell went wild on him. Look, I thought Alex Singleton got held on that Chris Carson run.
The touchdown run.
Yeah, there was actually some questionable refereeing.
Yeah.
In this game, but even despite him being held, like someone's got to make a play on that guy about 5 yards before the end zone. And I mean, I know he's a strong runner, I know he's powerful, but that was not a very good display by the second level and secondary there in tackling. I think Rodney McLeod got kind of trucked there at the goal line as Carson went in. You got to stop that guy. You can't give up a 16-yard touchdown run on.
There's a big gap. 16. They had a lot. Boy, did they have space on that 16-yard touchdown run from Carson. Yeah, you're right. They had the high touchdown, got called back. Clear hold on Obuehi. Probably didn't need to do it, but he did anyway.
Right.
Overall, they played a solid, not a very good game. I would say better than average football game defensively.
Right.
They kept, but the offense, man, I've not heard them pointing fingers at all. I've heard, I just, for whatever reason, the offense can't hold its own. We've outlined everything. I don't know what else we have to say about it. Defensively, they're hanging in there, getting better.
Yeah.
They've got most of their players back, Geoff. Most of their guys are back.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I meant to bring this up when we were talking about offense, but sure. Doug Pederson's challenge. Actually, this is more of a defensive thing on Metcalf. What may have looked a little bit like a fumble when they already have burned 1 timeout. Then you lose that, and you're down 2 timeouts in a 1-possession game in the 3rd quarter. I mean, if I don't understand, because when you watch the replay, he takes 3 steps. He's got the ball secure. It doesn't come out until his elbow hits an arm hit the ground. Like, that was kind of textbook, not a fumble to me. I don't understand why Doug challenged him.
I don't know. I just know that typically Doug has said he wants to know about the look from upstairs. They have someone who looks at it.
Yeah.
And it was wrong. You're absolutely right. It was clearly not a fumble. I don't. His situational football, by the way, we haven't talked about this much, has not been very good this season.
Mm-hmm.
He's always like, one of the things I really admire about him, like, people got on when the Eagles hired Pederson. They were like, oh boy, he's an Andy Reid disciple. He'll probably be terrible with clock management. The exact opposite, for the most part, has been true. He's actually pretty good with it. He rarely wastes a timeout, but this year there have been some instances where He's done it. And tonight, you're absolutely right. Against Seattle Monday night, that was a bad one.
Yeah, I mean, everything has just gone haywire this year, and some of it now just defies explanation. So I guess that's 2020 in a nutshell for the Eagles. 2020 is a little nuts, Adam, but that doesn't mean you should disregard your nuts, no matter what size or shape they are. In fact, Manscaped, as you know, is on a mission to take care of your manhood with their below the waist grooming and hygiene products, which are also available now in the UK, Canada, and Australia. You know, Australia is down under, as they say.
Mate.
So you got to get into that. It's holiday season. You got to take advantage of all that they have to offer. They just released the Crop Care Kit, which is a kind of a formulation bundle to give you it gives you A+ balls and is the ultimate male hygiene hack. And so the Crop Care Kit includes the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, which the name speaks for itself. You can get the Crop Reviver ball toner, which is a spray-on toner. Gives your balls a little slice of heaven with their aloe vera and hazel extracts. You've got the Crop Cleanser body wash. It's just a full body wash that you can even use on your hair, the hair on your head. Crop Mop ball wipes, and you never know when an opportunity strikes, so you've always got to be prepared. You've got your foot duster, foot deodorant. It's a free gift that's involved in the bundle, designed to keep the stinkiest feet smelling fresh. And don't forget about that best trimmer for your butt, balls, and body, the Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer with this replaceable ceramic blade, advanced skin-safe technology, which helps reduce grooming accidents. The waterproof technology also allows you to groom in the shower and for up to 90 minutes. That's a long time. That's a lot of shaving going on, but it can last that long. These formulations are all vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free, and paraben-free, so you know that your manhood is in good hands. So do it right now. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com using the code ITB. And if you care for those beautiful balls of yours, all you've got to do is go to that website, hit a few buttons on your phone, change your life for the better. Get that 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com using code ITB. Add some swag to your saggy bag, as they like to say. All right, Adam. We do the Manscaped Man of the game every game, and I feel like in the last 3 or 4 games we're always going with the opponent because we just can't find somebody on the Eagles to give it to. So I'll start with you. Who's your Manscaped Man?
Got to be DK Metcalf, number 14. I mean, kids out there, if you want to get the jersey of a guy to get, it would be DK Metcalf. He's unbelievable, man.
Does he reminds me a little bit. I think he's got the speed and the physique. If he can get some of that flexibility going and start to win on every single route, might have a little T.O. in him with the way he's explosive and strong and catches everything. Although T.O. was kind of prone to drops, but this guy.
That was the knock on Metcalf. I'll tell you why he didn't go in the first round. It might have been medical as well because not a secret, the Eagles, they had a medical issue. There were a bunch of teams that did. That's why I dropped the second round. But the one knock on him from a pure football standpoint was he had trouble throttling down. It's actually what you're talking about, exactly it.
Yeah.
He had trouble doing that. He's you got to get him going forward here. And obviously deep he's amazing because he gets leverage. Get him on crossers.
Right.
Don't have him slow up for it. You're not going to throw a smoke screen to him most likely because he's got to slow up and get the football. So, but you're right. That's a very good point, man. It's he's a great football player, amazing. I know fans, you love them to be an Eagle, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and just to not be repetitive, I'm going to give my Manscaped Man of the game to Dallas Goedert because it's nice to see him come back. 7 catches, 75 yards. It makes me think that, and again, I don't know what to make of the rest of the season, but when Zach Ertz comes back and he's got his top 2 dynamic tight ends, and hopefully Ertz comes back a little bit refreshed and reinvigorated. It was difficult for him and Carson earlier in the year. Maybe that just does something to awaken this offense just a little bit. So good for Dallas Goedert for staying invested, catching the ball, and making some plays.
They will be loaded in pass targets. They are now. That's just yet another one, and it's up to protection for the quarterback, and the quarterback's got to make the throws accurately, which has been a struggle for him. The pass placement is continues to be a challenge for him for whatever reason, but they are what they are. They've lost 5 out of 7, 3 in a row. It's not what we expected, and as we've been saying every week, fans know this. Schedule is daunting, man. It's man, it would be a fun if Wentz could get himself together to a certain degree. This actually could be a super fun game Sunday. Because man, Rodgers playing out of his mind, but the Packers, man, they give up plays. They're a bend that don't break defense, man. It's there for Wentz. He's just got to be accurate. They got to protect.
Well, that normally we would say maybe you can do that this year. It seems a little bit more difficult, easier said than done. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Of course, we'll be back in a short turnaround to have our tape review Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. And then, of course, on Friday, we'll have that preview of the Packers game. That will do it for this edition of Inside the Birds, the leading podcast in the Eagles Intel. Thanks to our producer, Hunter Brody. Check out Sports Talk with Broads on YouTube and check out Hunter on his Twitter account @Broads81. And as always, we thank you for flying with us inside the bird.